functionalise this idea of being on the ground and trying to get up. So first thing we're going to do is get used to defending on the ground. So in this hypothetical situation, Kieran shoves me, and for whatever reason, I follow. Kieran eventually wants to attack me. So for safety, let us allow that Kieran either wants to put a hand on my forehead or actually come across and lay across me, a la kind of your WWE ring pins, okay? Demonstrate. Okay? Just for the sake of training. What I want to do is at all times keep myself defended out from Kieran, by keeping him roughly where my legs are. If he starts to skirt around me, keep my guard right. So the game that we're playing here, Kieran is trying to get past my defence. I am trying to prevent Kieran getting past my defence. Run this for a few seconds. For the sake of practicing our breakfalls, do it off a short, just to get them working. Do a back or side breakfall. Go. I presume we'll all agree. There is a necessity to keep our assailants at the end of our limbs rather than on top of us or anything of the sort. So, let's pull out into something technical for a second and take a look at options from that position. So I'll just show you one tonight. We'll kind of build on this every week. So, yeah, Kieran, grab you again, don't miss. So, start nice and simple. Kieran pushes me down. This time, turn sideways. So, what I'm looking at here is, see the way I'm kind of shimmying around? This is allowed too, you notice that's kind of squiggy. What I'm going to look at now is, let's say Kieran wants to throw in a kick. Let's say for whatever reason I'll see the kick coming. I'll be lucky enough that either he'll be stupid enough to try and throw it through my legs, or I'll scoot around and I'll see that kick coming. So as it comes in, I'll be stopped. Now, you can call this a kick to the knee if you want. In practice, you'll find it's just using your foot to block. Okay? As your foot blocks, you are now momentarily safe. With your bottom foot, hook around his ankle. With your top foot then, push on the knee that you've hooked around. So, you're pulling with your bottom foot, and you're pushing with your top foot. So, this is just a technique. There is no, you've hurt him here, you've busted him here, you're going to escape. Learn this. This is a tool for your toolbox. We will then have contact. Okay? Once again. So Kieran comes in on a kick, I'm going to stop the kick. It doesn't matter which leg I hook under, whichever one's handy. Hook under with the bottom foot, pull and push with the top foot. Yep. Get up. Leave. Okay? Good. Point for you. Doubtlessly you guys have noticed that this took shape in one of two ways. So, give me that foot each time, yeah. From the side, maybe that way, and you went down the head. So that's called the leg scissors. If you guys were doing a technical system, you would be pulled up on the distinction between them. In actuality, as long as he goes down, you're laughing. Okay? What happened with the two girls over there is, if we go that way, she accidentally missed her block, and I ended up in this position. What I said is, this is also absolutely legitimate. It gets him on the floor. For the purpose of what we want to achieve, that is sufficient. So, that's quite enough of that. Let's look at a rear grab. Sorry, come on. Tommy's going to grab me. We've been here before, let's just revisit it with a little more care to detail. Tommy's going to grab me, he's going to pull me. The next thing I'm going to walk into is that. What I want to do here is install a habit. The very, very first thing I'm going to do is flick my head. I want to see if that's my mate or if that is a real assailant. Some people will teach you that the first thing you should do is hit the throat. What if it's your granny? What if it's your best friend? What if it's your mum? What if it's a cop? Don't do that. So, everything happens pretty much at the same time after that, which is, I'm going to grab his hand, I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to stamp. Okay? In fact, we'll do it both ways, with and without a stamp. So turn around, grab the hand, turn around, and hit the throat. Okay? What will happen here? One of two things. Either, if I hit him in the throat, his head will go back, boom, or he'll put his hand up to guard his neck. Boom. Either is good. From here, it leaves an open line down here, doesn't it? So, pull it back, clench your fist, and bonk, down there. Okay? What I want you guys to do is do two quick little experiments. One of them is without and with a stamp. The other one is on the chop, Switch fingers together or splayed. See which works best in each case. In the case of the chop, you're best off guarding your front like this. Just give someone a bone shield to hit. Or if you're feeling particularly badass, let them hit you in the chest. Work that. If you know the ending, add it in. If not, we'll cover that in a second. Go. What we were talking about, or what I was talking with some of you guys, is the way this attack comes in. So, in its ideal form, basically, Kieran is going to be behind me to one side, such that, for instance, his left shoulder lines up with my right shoulder at approximately arm's length behind me, thus allowing me to read all manner of havoc from him. In reality, it might be messier. In reality, he might be slightly off the line, he might be that way, he might be that way, he might be too close, some of my shot won't work. All I would say in these situations is improvise. You guys are being taught a framework, and you guys have elements that you can swap in and out of that framework as the situation demands. So we know, for instance, that if Kieran is far too close, I cannot chop him, but what I can do is elbow, boom. From there, that line is still open, isn't it? Etc. So let's again just look at the framework, the ideal technique, and then we'll add to it. So, if we step back, did we discover stamping or stepping work better? Who says stepping, who says stamping? Stepping? No, stamping. Seems unanimous. Okay, did we discover fingers together or fingers splayed works better? Who says together? No, splayed. Good one. Okay, so now we know structure better and moving across better. Boom. So the next thing we're going to look at is as we hit him there and hit him there, he's now in this position. So if we wanted, at this point, we may hit him, we may disengage, something like that. But we are going to put in a throw here. So, from here, my left hand is going to grab his far arm and around the elbow. My right hand is going to hug in behind him, kind of in and around the waist. I'm going to get a little bump with my right shoulder, step in between his legs, come down, pick him up, bring him up, such that my hips take his weight. Now he's not hitting the ground particularly hard here. This is what's called a hip throw. It again, you could say, would be kind of the basis of a lot of our throwing. So, 10, so, 1, 2, grab the far one. Now you can see his feet. My feet are going in just inside like that. As I do that, I'm going to pull his arm forward. As I do that, I'm going to hug him around his back. And he's going to drop low. Pick him up and throw him over. One thing you must never ever do is look down. If I'm looking up and Kieran tries to grab a hold of me, and he pulls me down, I'll kneel on him. But if I just do this with my head and he does the same thing, I end up on the floor. So, though you may want to, do not look down. Okay, one more time. So, 1, 2, from here. Step in, pick him up, put him down. Okay? If you have more at it, if not, work to there. Go. So, an idealized finish is Tommy Boys. I hit him again. I hit him, step in, throw him. From here, I'm looking at escape. In this particular case, I feel for whatever reason, I have not hurt him sufficiently. So, reach behind, grab his hand that way, step off, bang. Bang it off my knee. This is not an arm break. Unless his arms are made of meringue, this will not break his arm. But what it will do is leave him going, at which point I am already running. So, let's have a look at that from this side. So we step back, we hit him in the groin. From here we step in, we throw him. His hand faces that way, yeah? So grab it with your near hand, step off, pop it. Now you see I'm doing this very slowly. In reality, of course, it would be significantly more aggressive. This is not a lock, it's a jar. You can see why it's not a lock. But feel free to tap on it if you want to control it. This is not a lock, it's a whack. Leave. Yes? Give that a shot. Go. So, let us revisit the humble bear look. It's unpleasant. So, Tommy grabs me from behind. You can quickly see why a lot of the more classic techniques don't work. So, what we covered last time was, as you're grabbed, you're going to stamp, aren't you? We're going to do the same thing this time. Except this time, instead of stepping out to stamp, or to just generally one, make yourself heavy, you're going to step into him to stamp. So as he grabs you, step back to stamp. So I'm still making myself heavy. I'm still making myself awkward with me. Okay, compare that to with me. So, with either one of your feet, it doesn't matter. Step back between his legs, round out legs. If you can take out a leg, you can. If you can't, you can't. This is the reality. As that happens, as I'm stepping back anyway, you're going to hit the groin, the rear hand, whichever way you can. With the front hand, right now we don't want to be going anywhere. It's just going to trap these. So all at once. Bare hook comes on, install, boom. Now what else am I doing before I hit him? Trapping him, what else am I doing? That. Who are you? Sorry, guard. Imagine yourself in that situation, and then work hard to never be in that situation. So, boom. From here, the arms will release. As they do, there you go. Remember this. Grab him, turn him, release him. He may fall over, he may not. That's just a halfway point, but it's as good a break point as any. So Tommy moves in, we step back. Hits. From here, if he's not releasing, chisel upward with the elbow. Then you do this grab here, remember this one? Bring it close, turn him, push him away. And sure to practice your break falls, take a fall. Okay, go. Someone step up. Actually, Kev, have an onion one. So we'll go from this kind of clinch, this standing control. I have Kev here, he's now in control. What I want to do here, you see the way I'm kind of standing in front of him. I want to get myself in a position where I'm standing around about here. I'm not going to leave it behind. And bring him with me. So from here, I'm going to turn him and step out. See the way I'm stepping out with my left foot? So just turn his head slightly, grab his other arm under the elbow again, step out with the left foot. From here, take your right leg, bring it up, bring it through his leg. And he'll drop down. Yeah? Just to finish, step off, and push down on his elbow. Just like that. Okay? His hand stays facing out. Why? If I let his hand turn this way, he'll bend and start squiggling on me. If I let him turn this way, he'll bend and start squiggling on me. So his hand remains facing forwards, and just push down on his elbow. This is a lock. Okay, so once again, from my clinch or my control, I'm going to step out with one leg. Either way, doesn't matter. Okay? So as I step out forward, grab his elbow, lift your right leg, and sweep. I'm supporting his head because I choose to, I don't need to. Okay? Go. Let's join all that together. So, young girl, cute. Fair hook comes in, as it does. I'm going to step back, I'm going to hit him in the groin. So, ideally his arms will now release, rendering him completely compliant to be dazzled by my martial majesty. His arms may not release. They may not even loosen. He may have nuts of steel, in which case, hit him again. Even iron is tempered eventually by him. Similarly, if you have a bit of a gap, and you can't quite get your hand up, start elbowing until eventually space is created, and you cannot come back. This is a familiar position. This is where part one finished. So part two, we step off, we step off. We are again in familiar territory. Now, this breaks his balance. Experiment your own way. Some of you will prefer to retain the head. Some of you will prefer to grab the elbow and tuck it up under. See what works best for you. Do your sweep. Whoa. As you do your sweep, step up, step out, apply the hook. Whoa. Okay? Just put it all together. Experiment with retaining the elbow or not, it's up to you. Go. Very, very quick recap on the three scenarios we covered tonight. First one being shoved on the ground and kicked in the head. One. Stop it. Hook it. Push pause. And up. Leave. Second scenario was what? Anyone? You remember? Grab from behind and punched. Thank you. So, turn, hit. As I hit high, I hit low. From here. You hit from. Change arms. Up the elbow. Lead. Third scenario. What is it? Anyone? Bear hold. Bear hold from behind. In this case, we step back as we go. Hit from here, eventually. Change the low. Turn the clinch control. Step off. Next, from here. From here. Pull out. Cricket ball lock. Go.